Welcome back to Kryptolytix, giving you a fresh take on crypto analytics. And this is your crypto recap, where I cover some of the things going on in the crypto space. So let's jump in. Okay, so here we are. I'll start off on the short-term chart here for Bitcoin, just so we can really see how much nothing we've been doing over the past, few weeks, essentially. We got 14 days on the chart here. We had, things started to look bullish, and then we just started consolidating again. So we had a nice amount of price action off the lows here. Did a pretty nice run, and then we've essentially just hit a sideways period, essentially. We've had two rises here, so this would be the first, I would say, this block here. That's like one level, and then we've gained this level, and then now we're holding this as support. So the hope is the next step is we try to come over here to reclaim the 71 period. I was hoping for a monthly close here. That would be in the $70 region for Bitcoin, but we didn't get that. We closed the month at about 67.5K. So that's what we're looking like at the moment. Still a green candle, which is positive. I still feel like we've had our 4 wave in the corrective wave, but it can take time, right? It can take time. Again, we're looking at the monthly chart here. Between the last correction was about 3 months as well. So we've got, I guess you could say that would be this candle potentially is the equivalent, but then actually if this is the candle that's the equivalent, wow, we had five months essentially with this correction here, or this consolidation, or this ranging period, I guess you could call it. But nevertheless, we've entered that sort of phase at the moment. I still think that that was probably the low for now. I'll bring that over here because I think this was technically lower than here. There we are on the monthly chart. So if I go to weekly, then that will resolve to the lowest point. So yeah, as I mentioned in previous videos, I did get a top signal here, which is the CVI reversal, or the trend reversal, or pivot surge. Been through a few different names, but anyway, pivot surge as a top signal, as a local top signal. Now, I'm not treating this as a top signal. I'm treating this as a point where we might run into consolidation for a lengthened period of time, where we build that sort of momentum, and where we build liquidity, and we wait, as we have done so in nearly every other period like this. So have a think about the exponential gains in Bitcoin, these really intense runs, they sometimes only go for a short period of time. I mean, we've got 1 week here, 2 weeks here of straight up, and then grind up very slowly, and then a sideways grind for about 63 days, and then we're at about 91 days now. Wow, that's a lot. 91 days there. We get these massive weeks, and then we get long consolidation periods. That's just kind of what happens. Massive spike, consolidation for quite a few weeks, spike there, massive consolidation here, and then big run to the upside. So this is the thing, we can grind around and kick the can down the road essentially for lengthened periods of time, and then all of a sudden we get these big pushes to the upside in a bull market. So this is okay. We're just kind of slowly potentially winding up for hopefully some more bullish price action in the not too distant future. Let's cross our fingers. Otherwise, it's going to be not the most exciting over the coming months. And again, remember, as I said in the last couple of videos now, that this TDSS9 top signal has been the mark for, at least in this cycle, a point where we've consolidated. That was kind of like a slow grind up to the upside at least. But yeah, local top. And as I said, this just sets me the expectation that we might be sort of just grinding sideways, because the TDSS by Tom DeMar indicates generally some level of exhaustion could be seen in the trend, essentially. Anyway, so there's not that much going on here, to be honest. I am still bullish. I'm still waiting for that push to 80 to 90K. We haven't broken any bullish structure yet. Everything is still looking pretty good. It's just a little bit boring. That's fine. I guess that's why we have the meme coins and stuff, I guess. There's plenty of other stuff going on in the ecosystem and plenty of other news to cover. So let's just move on from the charts, because there's not that much to tell at the moment. We did actually have the DXY falling below the 200-day moving average. So it's definitely breaking some of its bullish structure here, or if it had any. Getting a bit of a head and shoulders there as well. A bit messy, but it looks like it, right? So DXY is dropping. It's still above 100, admittedly, but still, that's pretty bullish for risk assets. Bitcoin, crypto, even the S&P 500, all that sort of stuff. So this is good for us, because this, from a macro perspective, especially due to our exposure now to Wall Street and, you know, institutions through the ETFs, this is also good for us as well. Although, admittedly, it's been a few years now since the DXY has been correlated to Bitcoin's price action. But anyway, Bitcoin, altcoins, all that sort of stuff. Hopefully we catch a bid with some of this fall in the DXY, because essentially what's the point in holding dollars if it's losing its value when you can invest in something that will, well, make you money, I suppose. With regards to what I was saying before about potentially winding up, the other thing we could be looking at right now is, you know, in long consolidation and ranging periods, Perps positions build over that period of time. It builds high nodes of liquidity via stop losses and liquidation levels, which are often hunted by big money. And if the momentum's big enough, we can really push through some of these levels with high momentum. The other thing though, I guess I'm kind of waiting for, and I suppose, you know, I did say let's move on from the charts, but I suppose when I look at previous price action, these break of structure events sort of come generally after what looks to be sort of a bearish period. So you see here, we started sort of getting a little bit bearish here. You know, everything went red like it did here. And then we made a new low and then we really pushed off. I think that's kind of this, I would say. That's what that looks like to me. But we didn't really get that big momentum just yet. So I think that's what I'm kind of waiting for. Maybe if we get another drop here, that could be like the fake out we need to really get a lot of sort of short positions, stop losses and liquidations above these levels, essentially, which then hopefully will give us what we need to really push through that level, is the hope. But momentum ignition is often started with those levels being tagged, which is why we generally should wash them. Now, I've showed you those levels before on the high block many months ago, I guess last year or the year before, but now I just use CoinGlass. But you know, in a ranging period, I guess I'm just sort of sitting back and watching, but from what I could see, 72K was it, which is sitting at, well, just over here. Taking out 72K would actually break this range if it could hold above it, or if it could hold above 73K. That is all we need to essentially probably start to push pretty high up. Although to be fair, we could just sort of, it could be a bit of a bull trap almost and come back in and just continue this range, I suppose. So, but anyway, that's kind of what I'm waiting for, is some of this buildup of liquidity from people starting to enter large trades to try and capture small amounts of price action, because that's sort of when we start to get those liquidation hunts and those cascading events that generally lead to momentum ignition. So that's the sort of crazy upwards price action that we all love to see. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for as well, is that 72K level at the moment. Anything under there, I feel like is still part of the range. And if we don't hold above there, then I think that's just us potentially snapping back into a range. So anyway, we've got QE money printing starting, well, a few days ago now. This was on the 29th, which was last week. We have the US Treasury launching its first buyback program since 2002, which is QE. They plan on buying back US Treasuries up to 2 billion and tips up to 500 million per operation. Now, one reason why they need to do this as well is because we've got the likes of, say, China and Russia and, you know, a lot of the BRICS countries potentially, obviously not India, but maybe some of the other ones, BRICS plus, as it's a growing financial entity looking to run in parallel with the US and the collective West. Because of this dumping, they actually have to buy these back to shore up the value of them. But yeah, that means they have to print money as a result. So that's our QE, that's our liquidity that we need to sort of enter the market to start to drive prices up, at least in the stock market. Doesn't help us directly in the crypto space, because I feel like, you know, if they did start to invest again, it would probably be the S&P 500 and blue chip sort of Wall Street institutional assets, I suppose, because I don't think that the Federal Reserve would start to buy the Bitcoin ETF. But anyway, so yeah, opt out of the system of money debasement and buy Bitcoin, because as we know with money printing, that is inflation. So this is what I guess Bitcoin is trying to combat for the most part. One of Satoshi's visions was a flight from the dollar system, essentially. So anyway, let's move on. This is pretty funny. So Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway stock is down 99.97% due to an apparent system glitch. How crazy is that? Look at this, 99.97%. So NYSE, or New York Stock Exchange, is investigating the issue, and trading of the stock was halted. And some are actually crediting Roaring Kitty and the GameStop crew activity for this incident. And I guess, I don't know if the correlation is causation. I don't know if that's the case here, because Roaring Kitty actually came out and posted a reverse card a Uno card here. So this is why I guess we have to watch meme stocks, I suppose. So Roaring Kitty posted this and also showed that Roaring Kitty actually is up about 48% or $85 million. And he's held all of his shares and calls. I believe he actually holds 5% of the entire stock, which is pretty insane. So yeah, Roaring Kitty currently owns 5 million shares from GameStop, which is pretty crazy. Plus he's also got 120,000 call options that are currently in the money. So perhaps it has something to do with that. That's the speculation that some people are throwing around anyway. But anyway, so with regards to the glitch, it's actually caused Warren Buffett's real-time net worth to show that he's down $135.9 billion in the last 24 hours, which is pretty funny. The thing that blows me away is even though he's down 99.16% on his net worth, and that's obviously just due to this system glitch, I don't think he's actually down that much. He still has $1.2 billion as of this. That's just insane. That's a crazy amount of money. That's just kind of scary to think about, really. But anyway, so this is a thing that's happening at the moment. I'm pretty sure this will be fixed at some point in the not too distant future, if it hasn't been fixed already, I suppose. The GME meme coin on Solana also went up as well with the news, so that's just how it is. I saw this is pretty funny. Obviously not real. Steady Lads deploying more capital. Dirk One. If you know, you know, I guess, is what this is, but I thought that was pretty funny. So anyway, let's move on. There could be plenty more where this came from. So just in, judge orders SEC to pay $1.8 million in damages for abusing its power against crypto company DebtBox. So that's just DebtBox. There's, as I said here, there's plenty more where that came from. SEC has been coming after crypto in a big way. So who knows if this is the beginning of many more lawsuits to come, because, you know, they're going after so many people and crypto companies, Uniswap, Consensus, Coinbase. I mean, you name it, the SEC's been going after them. So I think this could be the beginning of something more, but we'll have to see, I guess, how it all pans out. Now, the Australian spot ETF has begun. It's not Australia's first spot ETF. As I mentioned a few videos ago now, there's already one, but it's on these, like a very small, low volume exchange. Whereas this is on the first main exchange, which is the ASX. So that started trading today and right now as we speak. And I mean, as you saw before, price action hasn't done much, but you know, with a lot of these ETFs, they do take time for it to actually mean anything. Essentially, nearly every comment is just like, no one really cares, which is pretty funny, but I don't know. I think there's still potential that this will actually do something at some point. But as I also said, my take on this is I don't expect that this will mean anything straight away. But when the bullish trend continues, it's another vertical akin to the Hong Kong ETF. So I believe inflows will add to the pressure as investors start to throw money at Bitcoin ETFs when price starts to go up, because it's one of these FOMO things, right? The institutions are pretty much the same as retail, essentially, a lot of them anyway, whereas they'll just buy when price is going up in the same sort of fashion as retail do. They just have a lot more money. That's all. So anyway, that's my take on it. It's live now. And as we saw with the Bitcoin price before, nothing much has happened during Australia trading session, but I still expect that this will be positive at some point during the cycle, because again, I feel like there's a good amount of potential exposure that this will bring if some of the superannuation funds decide to invest some of the capital that they hold into Bitcoin ETFs, because Australia's superannuation it's basically something that everyone gets when they work in Australia, and that's automatically invested by their super funds, essentially. So the hope there is that maybe some of those super funds decide to gain exposure to Bitcoin via the ETFs, and they will be using the ASX. They wouldn't have used the smaller exchange. But anyway, as you could see, it didn't do much immediately, but my speculation is that it will probably do something in the long run, but we'll have to see, obviously. Some other news as well. This is just kind of like an AI update. So ASI merger is set to be completed on June 13, which is, I think, next week. So Fetch AI, Ocean Protocol, and Singularity Net are joining forces to create the Artificial Superintelligence Alliance, or ASI, and it's a decentralized alternative to AI projects dominated by big tech. So there you go. This is actually really good for them, because these were sort of all fractured entities, and with them joining together, then they'll probably be able to work on bigger things going forward. And we do kind of need this, because at the moment, most of the AI protocols are owned by big tech companies, and the idea of having some of this bit more decentralized would be very nice. And this is where crypto comes in. Now, if you hold Fetch on any exchange or Ocean or Singularity Net, I think you'll probably have to wait for your exchange to send you a notification or alert, or something to that effect on what you will have to do. Maybe they'll just migrate it automatically on the back end, which is most likely the case. You probably won't need to do anything on your exchange to convert this to the new token, which is ASI. So probably don't need to worry about that too much. Unless it's on chain. And if it's on chain, I think it's best you visit Fetch Telegram to join Snapshot ahead of the transition to ASI, since no one is responding on Twitter. Well, that's not ideal. So there you go. You need to import your wallet from Fetch IA enabled wallet. You can validate your allocation before the drop. And yeah, so you'll have to figure it out essentially. I'm sure they'll actually post something. So I guess just watch that space if that's relevant to you. And if not, then anyway, it'll be interesting to see what they do going forward and what kind of cool things they come up with in the future. So let's get into some Solana updates. Quite a few cool things going on in the Solana ecosystem, so there's a fair bit to get through. So we had first, Visa showed interest on the Solana blockchain and they started using Solana USDC for cross-border settlements and transactions, I think more so on the back end. Then we got Shopify Pay, so that's another sort of mainstream adoption of Solana. Then it was Stripe, and now it's PayPal, all on Solana. So PayPal has released their PYUSD, and users can now buy and transfer PYUSD directly from the Phantom without any transaction fees on the Solana blockchain. Now, this is really, really cool. PYUSD is created by Paxos. So that's really cool. Paxos is known for the Pax G or Pax Gold. So that's sort of gold on the blockchain, if you will. And also the Binance Smart Chain or BNB chain BUSD was also issued by Paxos. And even last year during the USDC DPEG, BUSD remained completely unaffected. And actually a lot of stablecoins have had weird DPEGs, but a lot of the Paxos issued stablecoins have actually not had any of these issues. So this is actually really good. That's probably why PayPal chose Paxos. But it is very interesting that Visa has chosen Solana over Ethereum and PayPal's chosen Solana over Ethereum. I mean, this is pretty big. And also, if you want to use a MasterCard on Solana, we've also got Sol Card CC, which I've mentioned in previous videos before, where you can actually get a crypto card and it is a MasterCard. So there you go. Everything on Solana, it's our cycle, LFG. And here you go. Here's some more videos or snippets of the PYUSD in action. So this is showcasing PayPal USD payments on Solana using the Phantom mobile wallet and Solana Pay. So this is very cool. And I think that PYUSD will become a bit of a staple within the ecosystem. It's pretty centralized, I suppose, because it is PayPal, admittedly. But Paxos is pretty good. You know, we haven't seen any like big integrations into DeFi or anything like that yet, but I'm sure it will come. But, you know, I mean, I guess you could say USDC is centralized as well. Circle's pretty centralized. Really still don't have like a proper adopted decentralized stablecoin. And there's some like UXD and a few others as well, but nothing with that really strong stickiness within the ecosystem, because I think that we all still have a little bit of PTSD from Luna and UST. So it's one of those things that will take a while before I think anything catches on again, potentially. But let's discuss a few reasons why this is really good for us. So in recent developments, PayPal and Visa have both been leveraging stablecoins, but with distinct focuses and activity levels. So PayPal launched its stablecoin, PYUSD. It's designed to facilitate virtual transactions, cross-border payments, and support commerce on digital platforms. Since its launch, PYUSD has seen substantial use within PayPal's ecosystem and platforms like Venmo. Recently, PYUSD was made available on the Solana blockchain to benefit from lower fees and faster transaction times compared to Ethereum. This move aims to enhance digital transactions and further integrate stablecoins into mainstream financial services. Visa, meanwhile, is using stablecoins like USDC for cross-border transactions and settlement services, focusing on improving the efficiency and reducing costs associated with these operations. Visa's on-chain analytics dashboard provides insights into stablecoin activities, filtering out inorganic transactions to show actual usage. Despite the significant role of automated transactions, there's steady growth in organic usage, highlighting the growing importance of stablecoins in financial operations. Both companies are actively integrating stablecoins into their services, with PayPal targeting consumer and commerce use cases and Visa streamlining financial operations and settlement. So that's pretty cool. Can be redeemed 1-for-1 for US dollars. And again, I really think that we'll probably start to see it pop up more and more in some of the Solana DeFi applications. Now, it got me thinking, I wonder if some of this adoption is going to threaten the use case of XRP, right? Because XRP is mainly meant for cross-border transactions and settlements. but I think that XRP probably still serves a purpose, as it is technically cheaper than Solana, I suppose, per transaction. But anyway, I just thought, you know, this was an interesting thought experiment. So I guess let's compare Solana, which is starting to gain adoption by mainstream financial institutions like Visa and PayPal, with XRP, which has been a prominent choice for cross-border payments. So here's why this comparison is important. Solana is known for its high throughput and low transaction fees, processing thousands of transactions per second at fees often less than $0.0025. This efficiency makes it an attractive option for cross-border payments. On the other hand, XRP boasts transaction speeds of 3 to 5 seconds, which is very slow comparatively, but its fee appears to be lower, so its fees are around $0.0002 per transaction. One thing that's worth noting is that Ripple has built a strong partnerships with financial institutions and focuses heavily on regulatory compliance, which enhances its trust and adoption in the financial sector. So I guess the long and short of it is that XRP is still safe, I suppose, but at least for us watching Solana adoption and keeping track of it all, it's definitely really cool to see Solana's tech rails used for settlement, because payments is definitely a really big use case for the Solana blockchain, no doubt about it. So, okay, let's move on. We've got integration with deBridge Finance into Jupiter, which is really, really cool. So they already have their bridge comparator and like a wormhole plugin, I think. So now they've actually integrated deBridge. They did win the Launchpad LFG vote. So this is what it looks like. Essentially, you just connect your wallet and you can basically bridge from any of these other chains. So BNB chain, Ethereum, Polygon, Arbitrum, etc. I'm sure you've seen this by now. But yeah, you could just, if you had some USDT on the Binance Smart Chain, for example, you could connect to that, and then you can just go straight to Solana USDC, for example. And then you just essentially put in a wallet address down the bottom there. That would be whatever wallet you've connected, I suppose. And then that's pretty much it. You can bridge very, very easily with a bit of a fee. $4.50 is roughly how much it costs me per bridge. But anyway, you still can get points for using this. So there you go. But they've still got their comparator, so you can, you know, see what the cheapest route is. So technically, to get the best rates, you know, something like Allbridge would be better. So if we go BNB chain USDT, as I did before, you can see that Allbridge is the cheapest, followed by Mayan Swap, followed by deBridge. Mayan Swap, I think, is really good. That's one I would recommend you check out next once the airdrop's done for deBridge, because Mayan doesn't have a token yet either, and their fees and everything is much cheaper. So you would get more, or you should get more, than if you used deBridge. So anyway, just thought I would mention that. Obviously, your traditional bridge is going to be better, but Mayan Swap and deBridge have the ability to bridge and swap simultaneously within the one request. So that's what makes it a lot easier. We've also got this USDC bridge, which I believe this uses Wormhole. Much fewer options here. Yep, there you go, powered by Wormhole. I'm surprised this is not more built out, to be honest, because Wormhole actually supports a lot more features than this. But the problem with Wormhole is it doesn't bridge and swap. So it's nowhere near as convenient as if you were to use something like your Mayan Swap or deBridge. And then you've got this on-ramp, which is pretty cool. Mercurio, I don't know if that's the only one, I think. If we go to Euro, for example, though, you probably get different options. No, it's still Mercurio. Anyway, so that's your onboard, and then Centralized Exchange just gives you some steps on how you can transfer assets to Solana wallet from your centralized exchange. Anyway, that's just all the bridging that Jupiter is helping to facilitate. So that's really cool. Jupiter definitely is that one-stop shop. And whenever I talk to anyone about Solana that hasn't used it before, this is pretty much what I say. I just say, look, get your Phantom wallet, back up your seed phrase, and go to Jupiter. That's pretty much all you need to do for the most part. So anyway, let's move on. So big things are brewing for Jupiter Exchange. The giant unified market, or GUM, wants to make Solana a global hub where you can trade anything and everything. Now, I did mention this in my last video, but now we've got deBridge talking about it, which is really cool. They've got this cool thread here. So this is why this has piqued our interest. You can see here, I mean, this is what we currently have, and this is what, you know, we might be onboarding essentially. So bonds, stocks, gold, futures, real estate, currencies. I mean, that's really cool. T-bills even, you know, that's pretty cool. So this is what the real vision is, right? This is our real world asset narrative on Solana using the GUM initiative. So this is really cool. This kind of puts things a little bit more into perspective. I did say all this in the last video, but I mean, it's nice to see these pictures. They kind of put things into perspective, I guess. So this is the GUM Alliance here. These are some of the people on board and partners looking to bring assets on chain and set up markets and drive adoption on Solana, which is so cool. Really, really cool. Something we definitely need. So anyway, I thought that was a really cool thread. And I just thought I would, flick through it with you so you can see a little bit more about the government initiative and what it actually means. So Solana proposed to allocate 100% of proprietary fees to validators, and it passed. So if you really want to know more about what this means, you can actually come over to Solana Floor, or you could actually just check out their website, solanafloor.com, and they go into a great level of detail about it. But Solana validators approve a proposal to award themselves 100% of priority fees, ending the previous 50-50 burn reward split. So this was pretty good, I guess, the 50-50 burn, because that's taking more supply off the market, I suppose. But at the end of the day, this is still good, and I guess this is good for validators. So it means that they can make more money, and of course they were going to vote yes. It just makes sense. All these validators would love to make more money, especially with priority fees. Lane from StakeWiz offered a detailed analysis of the proposal's potential impact on inflation. So he calculated that the change could lead to a 4.6% increase in Solana's issuance, bringing it roughly in line with levels from a year ago. He also emphasized that the proposal is just one part of a broader plan to improve block reward distribution, and that proposals like the SIMD 0123 are already in the works. So essentially it makes Solana a little bit more inflationary because it's not got this burn factored into it anymore, at least with regards to priority fees. But maybe this will mean we get more yield for staking. So we'll just have to see, I suppose. But anyway, I just thought that was worth mentioning. And here, Chris has actually TLDR'd it very nicely here. So 77% were in favor, potential pros, improved incentives and network stability, potential cons, increased inflation. So still months away and only time will tell. So there you go. I actually wanted to talk a little bit about the new Firedancer client that's coming out, because I don't think people realize just how bullish this is for Solana in the long term. And I want to compare it to the current Solana validator, essentially. So Firedancer is developed by Jump Crypto. It's designed to be more resilient and less likely to request a network halt when issues arise. Now, that's something I discovered by watching one of the recent Lightspeed podcasts, is that the current validator, when it runs into issues, it can trigger a halt in the network, or most likely it will just trigger a halt so that more issues don't arise. Whereas the Firedancer client is not likely to trigger a halt in the network. It's designed to be more resilient and less likely to request a halt when issues arise. This is thanks to its robust architecture and advanced error handling. So Firedancer can actually process transactions in parallel. And that's the reason why the speculation is that it can achieve that 1 million TPS, and it has done so in a testing environment. Now, to give an analogy, think of Firedancer's parallel processing like how GPUs handle AI tasks. So just like GPUs process smaller tasks simultaneously for efficiency and speed, Firedancer handles multiple transactions and blockchain tasks at the same time. So this makes it more efficient and stable, reducing the need for network-wide interruption. So Firedancer not only boosts performance, but also ensures continuous operation, making the Solana network more reliable overall. And, we get fewer of those downtimes. And the reason why I like to make the comparison to AI is AI transactions, the reason why they use graphics cards is because, for example, you got NVIDIA CUDA cores can execute multiple parallel executions at any one time. And that's essentially what the Solana Firedancer Validator client is looking to be able to do as well, which is why it can process so many more transactions per second. So I guess if you've heard that Firedancer is super bullish for Solana and you're not really sure why, well, hopefully now this puts some things into perspective for you. So anyway, let's move on, shall we? So BTC has found its soulmate. So 21 BTC is looking to bring BTC that's native to Solana. No lock and mint technology, 100% backed by real Bitcoin, institutional grade security, deep liquidity, and operational excellence. And we also have seen Zeus, as you may know already. Zeus is working on Apollo, which is essentially to do the same thing. Now, I don't think that this will have the same level of ecosystem integration that we're going to see Apollo achieve, but at the very least, this is hopefully a way we can get BTC into Solana. So I thought it was pretty cool. And all reserves are held one-to-one with third-party custodians. There's no lock and mint technology because, as they say, bridges are known for vulnerabilities. Native access to Bitcoin on Solana means better security and true opportunities for self-custody. So yeah, that's something that this team is definitely working on. And Orca already have liquidity pools for 21 BTC, which is really cool. Currently, the circulating to supply is 2. So there you go. Not a lot going on at the moment, but I think it's sort of still to come, I suppose. And it'll be slowly building out. And hopefully we start to see it pop up more within Solana DeFi within the not too distant future. It would be cool if we could maybe use it as collateral in money markets. But again, I'm not really sure if we'll start to see that or if it'll be something more so that, you know, Zeus will do with Apollo. So anyway, we've got Layer ZeroLabs set to launch its Solana bridge today at Consensus 2024. Users from Ethereum and other ecosystems will be able to bridge their assets to Solana. So that's pretty cool. Definitely like to see some of the ETH L2s tip their hat to Solana in a way, I suppose. And this is one way, I guess you could say they're doing it. So anyway, I did post this yesterday and it was a surprise out of nowhere points boost for Sanctum. Essentially, there was no quest this week, so I'm not really sure. This kind of came out of the blue. It was for INF, DupSol, and HSol, which I personally have all three of those as major holdings, so I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to swap a thing for it, which is great. Anything in Kamino, etc. is counted except for multiply on DupSol. So if you've got DupSol in multiply, it's not counted. I did already mention that when I covered this recent edition. By the time you see this video, it'll probably be just about done. So anyway, that's that, and it's happening right now, essentially. Now, we're getting a little bit of bullish talk by the Sanctum team. We've got FP Lee or Soul Alchemist here saying this is going to be an insanely big week for Sanctum. Buckle up. Initially, I saw this post by Gumshoe saying Sanctum stats plus airdrop guess. The team has been hinting about this week being big, so it is possible that an airdrop is coming sooner rather than later. Initially, I thought that maybe this would just be new LSTs being listed, but maybe I am wrong. So I was just saying I think the big Sanctum news is more LSTs, but we'll have to see. They may decide to announce their tokenomics soon and the wrap up of season 1 of Wonderland. Still waiting on the next quest. If they're happy with how it's all gone thus far, then maybe that could be a wrap on it. So that might be why we didn't get a quest this week and why instead we just got some random out of the blue points boost. But these are some pretty good stats. So we've got TVL is plus 28% in the last 7 days. Again, just constantly rising. TVL is up 102% in the last 30 days, up hundreds and hundreds of percent in the last few months. We got closing in on $1 billion in TVL, which is actually huge. That's absolutely massive. It's bigger than most other chains' TVL in just one protocol. Over 6.5 million SOL is staked through Sanctum now. We got 193,000 holes of Infinity. Not all of them, I don't think, will be participating in Wonderland. So, you know, I don't think we're up against, you know, as in if you're farming the airdrop, I don't think you're up against 193,000 holders. But if you are, then, well, the fact that I'm 970th place is actually really cool on the leaderboard. But I think there's just a lot of wallets with small amounts. The average person holds 10.29 INF. The median is 0.29 INF. So this could be obviously overfarmed airdrop with the median of 0.29 INF. Shows that there might be a lot of Sybil accounts and self-referrals that may be disqualified from the airdrop. So Gumshoe believes that Sanctum will be one of the most valuable tokens in the Solana ecosystem. A lot of people don't understand how impactful Sanctum will be to accelerating LST adoption and growth in the Solana economy. And I definitely do. That's one of the reasons why I'm aggressively farming it personally. And I really do think that, yeah, I don't know what kind of utility the token will have, admittedly. Obviously, it'll be like a DAO or a governance token, so you'll be able to vote for LSTs in the future, which ones will be listed. Given the amount of work that they've put into Wonderland, I feel like whatever they do will be, I guess, really cool and maybe gamified in some way, I suppose. Yeah, the other thing I mentioned as well is Sybil farming is pointless with Sanctum because FP Lee's mentioned it's capital X time and not tier based. So some people feel the importance of spreading risk over multiple wallets. So because you never know if you might get drained one day and if you've got all your eggs in one basket, you know, you could just basically lose it all. So that's one of the reasons why they haven't gone for a tiered approach. Like for example, with Jitto, they've gone for, I think, capital X time. So it's just like farming XP. And then I think your airdrop will be assigned or allocated as per your XP amount. So anyway, that's just my thought on it anyway. But I think a lot of people have started sort of moving their LSTs like sort of out of this. I think to a degree, you know, you can still farm points in Kamino with it. It's just that, you know, some people are getting DupSol and then winding it up in the multiply, and that doesn't count for points. So I think they're prioritizing yield over the points, but I'm prioritizing these points over yield because the points could equate to something much greater than, you know, maybe what, 20% on Solana or something like that. Yeah, James, the whiteboard guy, that's what I'll probably call him. He's the whiteboard guy. Did this post. It was addressed by Kamino Finance, but this is just basically a post. It's definitely worth noting and worth thinking about. This is his view on the Kamino multiplier users that are currently exposed to heightened risk. Essentially, narrative is, oh, there's no liquidation or anything like that. But there kind of is, especially if there's some sort of crazy depeg. But multiply only works if the interest rate to borrow SOL is less than the APY rate on the LST. So Dupe SOL or H SOL. The interest rate to borrow SOL is determined by the utilization ratio supplied by SOL versus borrowed SOL. This number goes up when more people borrow SOL or remove their SOL supply from Kamino. Right now, SOL utilization is sitting at 91% on Kamino's own risk dashboard, which is extremely high. So which means people are like completely degenning the hell out of this, basically. It's actually higher than their quoted upper bound curve control quoted by Kamino. Now, again, one of the reasons why I wanted to go back down to the bottom and kind of skip a lot of this is that they said it was a glitch and that it's showing 91%, but it's actually sitting at 90. So there you go. And the thing that's worth noting, I guess, because it is a large post, so I don't want to go over it all, but the good news is, as people have explained, liquidations will take at least 40 plus days of extremely high borrow rates for a liquidation to occur. So it's just something worth keeping an eye on and watching. And yeah, don't set and forget if you're using it. I'm using it for Jitto personally in one of my wallets, but I'm not using it for my LSTs because I want points. All I care about is getting up in the leaderboard. Actually, I'm happy because I got my top 1,000 place. So that's all I really cared about. But anyway, there's definitely some risk. So if you want to know more about this, then probably come over and find James Lee Hanley and check out this post essentially, because it's definitely worth thinking about. Anyway, let's move on. So there's a 50k drift apparently up for grabs. The Drift Foundation's first Futarkic proposal just passed. I don't know what Futarkic is. I think that's the I think that's something on the MetaDAO, but anyway, it's a weird word. I've actually never seen it before. Here's how you can get rewarded for participating in governance. So proposal summary, there's a 50k drift grant for this incentives program, 12k retroactive for MetaDAO traders, 10k proposers, 25k participants, and 3k execution group. So if you've got something that you want to potentially, like a feature you want potentially added to Drift, this might be a way to do it. Personally, I want to see grid orders. I did create a document actually for how you could execute grid orders in a single smart contract execution on Solana using Rust and tagged Dave in it, but I don't think he really has time for that. So maybe this is one way, if you've got an idea, you could maybe go and, you could actually, as a proposer, potentially earn some drift tokens by doing it. So it's part of MetaDAO. They actually also did is it Futarki? I don't know this word. Whatever, who cares? Essentially, you can go here to futarki.metadao.fi/drift/proposal, and this is the DAO, and this one already passed, so you can't really do anything with it. I'm actually using mine as collateral to trade at the moment, but I'm up so much on those trades that I could probably take that out and not be affected, so that's fine by me. This is something, if this means anything to you, like if you really care about this, then come over here and give it a read, and if you want to participate, you can, and if not, then just move on essentially. But this is something that it means something to me, and I'll be definitely participating in this, and you'll get rewarded for it. So I don't know, if you want some rewards, then at least you could go in and vote for some of the proposals and make some drift tokens. Why not? If you've got decent holding of drift, then that means you'll have decent voting power, so then your reward would be greater thusly. But anyway, that's just something I thought I would mention. Also, you can trade drift with 5x leverage on drift, which is really cool. Now, the opportunity to do that for me has already passed. If I wanted to do this, I would have used my Python super trend strategy, but I think it's already down enough and it went up enough. So right now for me, I'm not seeing anything that I would trade on drift as in terms of price action. I don't really have a strategy set up for it here right now. It's on my other computer and I haven't saved it, so I can't really show you. But anyway, if you figure out a strategy that works for you for drift, then maybe you could go long or short on drift if you want to speculate on it there, but they offer up to 5x leverage on it. So there you go. It's pretty cool. We've got UPT now live on Jupiter. The LFG launchpad had the Uprock launch. It's already gone through and I believe is live. It's just been down only, I guess. So let's have a look. I'll just grab the actual token because there's a lot of fake tokens on Birdeye that I could see. So let's actually have a look at the real one. Oh, this is the real one. I thought this was fake because this looks terrible. What the? Look at this. I looked at this on Dex Screen. I was like, that can't be real. And it actually is. So let's have a look on Dex Screener, so we can see what is going on and what the market cap is. And this looks terrible. So I guess this is all the airdrop jitters. I don't think you could short this, I don't believe, so you don't really get much for selling it. At the moment, the market cap is sitting at about 64 million. And it's about 45%. It needs to go up to get back to its all-time high. This to me, and this is probably a very unpopular opinion, but this to me is a farm and dump token. As in, you literally are farming this by sharing your phone's network data, essentially. So, you know, what else do you get for using this? I'm sure you could probably go watch a Seb Monty video and he'll talk about it in great detail as to why it's bullish, but I don't know. What is it? It's just emissions from sharing your spare bandwidth akin to grass. So, okay, what else? What do you get, right? Like HNT, at least, like helium token, you can pay for your phone plan with it. So that makes sense, right? That's a good reason to farm and use it, because you can basically use their network for free if you've got one of those helium devices and you're contributing to the network. Whereas with this, I'm not really sure what you get for it. I mean, you could probably look into the utility for it. But anyway, the launch went through and the token price doesn't look great, but this is just typical of any token launch these days, really, let's be honest. So anyway, this is a little bit more of a positive take. I don't know if you feel bullish on this, like you'd want to buy this, then go right ahead. I don't think I'll be buying it. I will be getting some, I believe, during the ASR rewards airdrop period, and I will probably swap it for Solana, but whatever. It's cool. I got nothing against the project. Obviously, I think it's really cool, but I don't really see the point in speculating at the moment on it, because I don't know what the utility is for the token. So anyway, that's just my take. Do what you will with it, right? I've mentioned the Switchboard Orbs many times. I did look into ways to finding how many Orbs you have. Airdrop.link isn't working for anymore, and I don't believe you can actually even check how many Orbs you've got. I looked on their website and it didn't say anything about how being able to check how many Orbs you have. So all we're just doing is potentially farming Orbs with no actual knowledge of how many Orbs we have farmed. So anyway, how's your Orb stack looking, Anon? Well, we don't know because you won't let us see. It's like, what the... Anyway, P.S. We're cooking up something special for researchers and content creators in our community. Stay tuned for more information. So there you go, more of an update on the Switchboard Orbs. Again, with Switchboard, Oracle completed a $7.5 million funding round. This means that they have decent capital to boost their airdrop. Again, list of dApps to use to collect Switchboard Orbs would be Sanctum, Solana, MarginFi, Rainfi, Symmetry, Use Lulo, and Mango Markets. I keep saying Use Lulo, but it's just called Lulo. But anyway, that's essentially, if you interact with these and, you know, put transactions through them, essentially you'll likely be farming Orbs, but, you know, we have no idea how many we have, but decent funding rates, you know, by some big players in the ecosystem. We got, you know, Mert from Helios, Triton, Brian, another RPC, and, you know, Ruta on Solend is also an angel investor for it. So anyway, that's the list. And yeah, Symmetry's got something going at the moment, might be good for that. And Symmetry is something where you can go and invest in, so it's on-chain asset management, but you can also invest in Think Basket. So they've got something coming up on the 6th of the 7th, I think. That's a US date. I don't know. I would see this as the other way around. That's because I don't read dates like they do in the US, so that to me is confusing. Anyway, I believe in Symmetry, you can actually buy baskets, like portfolios. So you can actually throw USDC at a portfolio, for example. Something worth checking out, I suppose. And yeah, you get Orbs for using it. So let's cover some sort of automation on Solana, some sort of automated bot-orientated stuff that we can do on Solana. So this is the first one, Drain Protocol. They released a new feature that allows users to build AI-driven trading bots on Solana blockchain through their Drain Trader platform. So you essentially can just write out what you want it to do. You can see in this little video here, write out what you want it to do. My first trading bot, and you can see they're just typing, sell all of my SOL when Bitcoin drops below $60,000, swap half to USDC and half to USDT. When it goes back above 65K, buy it all back. That's really cool. That's really, really cool. So if this is something that interests you, like code-free bot operations, I think it's really cool personally. So you can come check it out on Drain Protocol. I'm already following them, but this is something that's definitely worth checking out if that appeals to you. Now we're going to cover some more bot stuff. We've got Memecoin trading using Dither. Now I've mentioned Dither in the past. Now I think this is where the real power with Dither will lie. So there's something called PPBot, which is really cool, Pocket Protector Bot. And Dither is looking to partner up with them, which is essentially the thing that I said that Dither needed, essentially when I covered it in my video. I'll show you a short run through of how you can use PP or Pocket Protector. So PPBot is a social bot that helps you find coins early, filter Telegram Alpha, one-click ape anything. And yeah, so here's a short guide on it. So common issues is finding good coins and buying them at the right time. And PP is trying to solve this. To start, DM the bot on Telegram, message it to start to get your wallet address, deposit some Sol, start using the 2 killer features. Now, this is similar to BonkBot, right? You know, you just have to deposit Sol into there. So PPBot's 2 killer features is group chat trading and aping calls. So in group chats, PPBot will track your friends' calls and then find out who's profitable, send alerts from top callers, plus Dither, and then one-click ape any calls. Also, good Ponzonomics. If you add the bot to a group, you get 35% of all points and fees. So that's pretty cool. PPBot also works in single player mode. In your DMs, get personalized alerts and buy instantly. Dither Solana alerts, the best AI trading tool for coin discovery. Now, I did use this when it first came out. I haven't used it since because it stopped working with, I think version 1 is what I was using. And I think they've gone beyond that and I haven't implemented it because the few calls that I put money into just went to zero. So I was like, nah, we need a bot to work with. And I think this is where PPBot comes in because it can buy and sell for you, which is exactly what you need for this sort of stuff. But anyway, I think it's worth checking out. And if it's something that interests you, then I would, you can go check it out if you want. And I think using this with something like Dither would be good. And if you're part of any chats, then I think it could be good for that too. So if that's appealing, then go check it out. Now, another bot, which I think is not as ethical, I guess we could say, is the Drop Beast bot. Now, the Drop Beast is something where you can actually farm Jupiter exchange points. Because, you know, the way the Jupiter or Jupiter airdrop works is that the more trading volume you put through the ecosystem, or the Jupiter platform, I should say, the bigger your airdrop will be at the end of every year. And now what this does is it basically just trades. I think this will cost you some money in gas. Probably not much because Solana's gas is really cheap. But essentially, I think the idea of this is you throw some capital at it and it just trades on your behalf automatically in the background. So this is by a post by Solf, and he says, I use Drop Beast to automatically generate volume on Jupiter using the Jupiter swap feature, farming a total of 5k volume per day, every day until the airdrop on January 31st, allowing him to farm over 1 million in volume effortlessly. Now, I don't know if this will be punished or how it will be punished if it is. But nevertheless, this is something, again, like if you don't have a lot of capital, then maybe this is one way you can get some Jupiter tokens next year. And just by sort of flushing volume through using this bot. You can actually see there's some others in there as well. We've got Meteora, we've got ZK Sync Scroll Linear. There's some things on there. So that's pretty cool. And essentially, this is kind of like how you set it up. So this, you can see he's put in 2,182 USD in there. Again, I don't know how ethical it is, to be honest, but Jupiter, I think, has a lot of potential this cycle. You know, initially, I wasn't really sure how high the price could go for Jupiter, but just seeing how much the team is shipping, I think that there's decent amount of potential that Jupiter's market cap will grow quite high this cycle in the next hopeful run up that we get when the bull market resumes, I guess, from this consolidation period. So anyway, I thought that was something worth mentioning. Again, it's called Drop Beast XYZ. So go check it out if you think that this is cool, and I'll let you do that. I'm not going to do a tutorial on it because, again, I think that ethically, I don't know how I feel about it personally. I haven't used this. Will I use it? Maybe. But yeah, again, I think this is more just to help you guys out. So if you think that this is helpful to you, then go check it out. But yeah, I don't condone it. I'm not using it, and I'm not going to shill my discount or my ref code or anything like that for it. So anyway, let's talk about some Memecoin stuff. I did cover in my last video that Jenna token. I was really unsure if that was real or if it was a scam, and in the end it was a real token, but it was kind of a rug because Sahil was involved, and I mentioned Sahil was known for all these AVAX rugs. Basically, clearly this Jenna had no idea, I would say, about any of that sort of stuff because, well, she's not crypto native, I suppose. But anyway, again, I initially wasn't sure about the celebrity token narrative, especially with like the whole Caitlyn Jenner thing. And that token felt like a bit of a rug, and well, it kind of was if you look at the chart. But I think Mother, which, you know, Iggy Azalea launched the Mother token, and that's pretty extreme, to be honest, in terms of potential exposure. And I'll show you why. Look, she's got 7.6 million followers on Twitter, and Mad Lads made a lassie for her. So she's got her own PFP, you know, Solana PFP. And look, yep, this is her token. This is the picture. It's really not much, but anyway. She's an interesting character, and she's, you know, gone on some spaces and stuff like that. I think that there's a lot more potential in this as something that I would buy, and I did. But I think that Mother may be something that makes more sense, since she could be a legitimate path to crypto onboarding to non-crypto natives due to her large following on X, as I showed you just before, 7 million plus. So the market cap last night when I checked was 81 million, which is quite high, and off the lows, it went up about 1800%. And at the time I posted this, it was still up about 1600%. So the market cap hit 91 million, which is not too bad. I'm not saying it will get there, but it's about 1,145% away from a $1 billion market cap. Again, I'm not saying it will get there, but again, it's something worth measuring, as this is kind of not too crazy, especially, you know, for a lot of people on board. You know, seeing all those new Phantom wallet downloads and all that sort of stuff shows that there are people coming in to the space. But yeah, we'll have to see if it gains traction before dreaming that big. But it'll be interesting to watch nevertheless. For me, it was just a nibble on this one, because I'm just curious to see where it goes. For me, the play is Moon or Doom, because I came in a little bit late. I mean, 80 million is not too bad, but it's actually not that cheap for something these days. TP for me will be just under a $1 billion market cap, I reckon. And if it gets close to there, I reckon I'll figure out some Heikanashi's super trend settings to stop out on it with. Else I'll hold it until it fades away into nothing. So that's basically what I'm doing. You can see I bought right there. I think it was on 62 cents. So that's my buy right there. And like, I was up on it. I don't know if I'm still up on it. I think it's kind of cool. Again, I wasn't really sure about the celebrities narrative. I think she is kind of cool after listening to her on the spaces. And yeah, she's like an Australian, I think, living in America. She's a rapper. She has a big following. She has a big personality, I guess, which is good. And I think that, you know, as far as meme coins go, this one's potentially a solid contender. I mean, that's just the long and short of it, essentially. I think that's about it. All you can really give to a meme coin is like community, potential, like exposure, all that sort of stuff. I mean, a lot of it's there, I think, when it comes to this stuff. The other thing as well is I saw that Kamino Finance has integrated it as well. So it gives some legitimization, I believe, to it. So there's another reason why I think that Mother could be decent. So you can see Kamino has a liquidity vault for Mother Sol, and it's up and running. Again, if you add liquidity to this pool, then, you know, you'll get potential and permanent loss. So if Sol only goes up like 5 or 10%, and Mother goes up 1,000%, well, you won't really get those gains from Mother. But anyway, it still, to me, gives some legitimization, I guess, to it, to a degree. So anyway, let's have a look at MANEKI. So MANEKI's been doing relatively well. I think it went up to just under 0.02, and it might be pulling back now, but these buys were pretty good. So yeah, I mean, the market might be looking a bit choppy and ranging, but there's always something putting in the work, right? And MANEKI is one of those. I think if I check the chart now, it's probably pulling back, admittedly. It's not doing too badly, actually. It's sort of capped out at around $180 million market cap. Pulled back a little bit, so we'll have to see if it can continue its run up. Again, its all-time high is about 250 million market cap, and from here to 1 billion, if it can get there, if it can get there, is still about 542%. So it's looking okay. It's definitely a slow grind though, because I think there's a lot of profit taking happening on it. We're not getting any crazy parabolic moves on it, which doesn't look amazing. I mean, you know, generally these meme coins tend to do really well and take off, but maybe the team is aggressively taking profit on it as it goes up, which is stopping it from getting those sort of parabolic moves. And the reason why I say that is because they're spending a lot of money on advertising and all sorts of stuff like that for this collaboration with, you know, UFC fighters and all sorts of stuff. So, you know, it's pretty cool, but that could be adding selling pressure. Who knows if that's happening as a result of it. But anyway, I forgot to mention as well, a lot of people were like, oh, well, you know, Jenna token and Izzy Exalia tokens and all that stuff are potential top signals. Well, I don't know about that. So I don't think these are top signals. I think that they are a path to mainstream crypto adoption. Memes have been embraced as a method to stress test networks and make crypto fun. And celebrities coming Solana is what we need to achieve that 1 billion users goal, which is what Anatoly said he really wants to achieve with Solana. So I think we're just getting started personally. So that's just my opinion. Anyway, admittedly, at first I thought it was a bit top signaling, but after thinking about it, I think that it's a path, right? And, you know, maybe if we see Taylor Swift launch a meme coin, maybe that will be a top signal, but until that time, then maybe not. So anyway, I had a look at my portfolio on this day. I don't know when this was, on the 29th. So this is actually a while ago now. But anyway, people were saying around this time that memes were dead, but look at this. This is my portfolio tracker. Pretty much everything is memes. So there you go. It's actually good to see Celestia coming back a little bit. I'm still down a lot on what I bought because I bought it for potential airdrops, and I've got nothing for it so far. But it's kind of nice to see it's breaking its bearish structure. I've actually put a long in on this as well in Drift, so I think that's up slightly at the moment. That's just kind of proof that memes are not dead, I suppose. I had this long on Bonk. I took this snapshot again on that same day. It was up about 64%. I think both Bonks pulled back a little bit since then though. Yeah, it definitely has. So this is my trading strategy for Bonk. So I went long here on this signal right there, and that was it, up about 80% at its top, but now it's down a bit, but it's still up a bit. So whatever, 25%, can't complain. So yeah, I just have to wait for the market or the meme sort of pump to resume, I suppose. Even Pepe's taking a break as well. It actually triggered a short for me. I think I might end up closing it though. So if I get in the money on this short, even just a little bit, I think I'll probably close it because this last one was terrible and the one before that was terrible. So, you know, and this one I actually cut thankfully here. I saw it break this short-term structure. So if I see, if I see any break of structure here as well, at least here, I think I will manually stop this out on my Pionex bot. But anyway, that's definitely not a thing anymore as you thought, but still pretty cool. And yeah, so Mother's entered the wormhole and is on the move. So I mentioned Mother before. It's actually being bridged over to Injective as well. So that's pretty cool. So you can get Mother on Injective as well as on Solana. And also in Helix, it's available for trading. And Helix is a really cool app. I've covered it in some of my videos in the past. So anyway, it's cool to see. It's actually made its way onto Injective, which is crazy. So anyway, this is for spot trading, not for perps, because Helix does offer perps. Again, gives it a little bit more legitimacy, right? I guess now we're talking about Injective, so let's talk about some more Injective stuff. So we got May recap for Neptune. User growth is about 14% over 5,900 users. TVL hit new highs in May on the 21st. Part 2 of the tokenomics series is out. NUSDT cap was increased to 1 million. And Pulsar Finance has integrated portfolio tracking for it, which is really cool. Now, Pulsar Finance, this is cool. This is like a portfolio tracker and you can use it to track your Injective wallet as well, which is really, really cool. So essentially, if you want to track your wallet, anyway, you can come over here and over if you want to keep track of your wallet on Injective and see, you know, what's going on here. That might be helpful to you. And Neptune was added to that as well. So there you go. Also, decentralized gold and silver, so XAU and XAG perp futures are now live on Helix, which is really, really cool. So now if you want to speculate on gold and silver perpetuals on chain, you can do so here with Helix, which is cool. So I did mention before, Neptune's tokenomics part 2 series is out. So this edition covers the 28% allocation for team advisors and the investing schedule for each group. And there's a thread here that goes into it. I'm farming this at the moment, the Neptune airdrop, and the token will be NEPT. I don't know when the release will be, so I'm guessing they're sort of working up to it very soon. But anyway, if that's something that you're doing, then hopefully soon we'll get the airdrop and token launch information. Also, I saw that there was some SEI Airdrop Coming, a phase 2, which is pretty cool. So if you use SEI, then you might be getting an airdrop. I did not realize that SEI were going to do ongoing airdrops, but here we are. The only thing is there's not all that much of a DeFi ecosystem. So I don't really know what power user would constitute because they say power users. But I guess if you have it and you're staking it, maybe you will qualify. So you can come over here and check it out. So it's airdrop.sei.io. You can grab your SEI address from your Compass wallet if you've got that set up and check your eligibility that way. And personally, I'm eligible. So I'll get 200 SEI personally with what I've done. And yeah, you'll just want to come over to this website and you will just want to verify your wallet and you'll just have to sign a transaction. And then there you go. Your wallet will be verified and you'll have agreed to the terms of use. SEI is worth about 50 cents at the moment. So that will be, at least for me, $100. That's pretty sweet. Nice. So there you go. Go and check that out if that's something that is relevant to you. And lastly, I wanted to mention again, BlockPlay. I probably mentioned it in nearly every video, but yeah, they talk about their block token here. So this is pretty cool. So imagine earning block tokens just for playing the games you love. Whether you're completing challenging levels, winning tournaments, or just enjoying casual gameplay, every moment counts. Again, this is a play to earn. So it's part of the crypto gaming narrative, essentially, or GameFi. And yeah, this will just be like a layer 2 where you can run this on your computer and play some of the AAA game titles that they integrate with it. And yeah, I think it's just really, really cool. So essentially be able to play, you know, like Apex and Rocket League and all these sort of, you know, huge games that people love and essentially earn crypto tokens with it. And hopefully, you know, this really expands out and becomes ingrained into the Solana ecosystem. So that's the hope there. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how these guys go and how it builds out, because I think this is a really solid way to get Web 2 gamers into Web 3, right? That's the whole point of this, because it's kind of like a way to onboard regular Web 2 gamers into our crypto bubble. So that's why I feel like this is a really big deal. Anyway, something I think worth watching. And if you haven't got this on your radar, I highly recommend you go and give them a follow. And yeah, you can see they're growing. We've got about 7,000 followers at the moment. So there's definitely on people's radars. There's no doubt about that. And I think this is going to be a really big platform. So I'll keep you all up to date when I see more stuff come out by these guys. But anyway, I think that's probably enough for today's video. It was definitely a big one. So hope you liked it. Hope you found it helpful. If you did, then please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about today's video. Go follow me on X if you want all this alpha in real time before I can do a long form video on it. And hopefully I'll see you on the next one. This is Kryptolytix signing out. Have a good one.